Yo, Stephen here, an hour and a half after the game had finished. Just only got back and been able to sort things out from the Etihad when I was live on City's channel. That was a painful full-time analysis. We'd lost 2-0 to Leverkusen in an incredibly painful and frustrating night. I'll be honest with you, I'm in a pretty bad mood. I'm not feeling particularly chatty about all things Manchester City right now. We'll talk about it, but I've definitely feeling a bit wound up by that performance, and also by the nonsense online as usual. And I think I've also I'll be fine, obviously, and you'll be fine too. But that definitely was to quote Radiohead and Just, you do it to yourself, you do. That's what really hurts. We did that to ourselves. We absolutely did that to ourselves. There's no real sugarcoating it. It was just a shit night for Manchester City. We were shit. And the decisions to play that team was shit. And it's all hindsight, of course. You never really know until you experience it. But the whole thing was, it was just shit. It was a shit show, shit sandwich, a shit show, shit fest, whatever, all variations of shit. And I did not enjoy it at all, unfortunately. Like, full disclaimer. Because I like psychology. I like the idea of like narratives and story. I just like people and football, and I like it when someone tries something different. Because I'm a dreamer, and there's nothing wrong with that. Though the internet will tell you you're not allowed to do that. If you suggest anything new, you're a fucking heathen. You should be booed. But I quite like the idea of what Guardiola was trying in theory of showing, an entirely different bunch of players and giving them a chance to sort of maybe make a statement after the disappointment of the Newcastle game and after the perceived preferred 11 that was forming. I sort of liked it in theory. I admitted that there was potential risks with it, but I guess I like novelty. I just do. That's just me as a person. Already snidey pricks on the internet are sort of pulling that tweet up and like judging me for it, as if you're a fucking criminal for dreaming or enjoying things that are different. Fuck off. I get so annoyed when people get that petty, just have a go at you for being wrong. Like, so what? Who isn't wrong sometimes? But anyway, I did enjoy the idea of it, and I didn't think it was necessarily going to work, but I enjoyed it, the idea of it. It turns out the concerns that were there in terms of rhythm, fitness, confidence, it being too many changes, they were in the end justified. And City were rudderless. We were a ship out at sea without a lighthouse to follow, and no oars, maybe one oar going around in circles, and an inexperienced squad. Your captain's gone overboard, and largely we were lost and caught in a storm in the dark, and it was poor. Look, we will have worse games than this, absolutely. We've had worse games than this, but that was weird because it was painful because it was weird, if that makes sense. Like, it was in hindsight, and it felt crazy. I laughed when I saw the team because it was crazy. But now in hindsight, it raises many questions. Like, a lot of people have said it was arrogant from Pep. I don't know if it was arrogant as such. If it was just, I fear it's the opposite. I fear that it was fearful from Pep and overly bold and a bit stupid and necessarily arrogant. Well, Pep's not stupid, but I feel like it was. So Guardiola's talked an awful lot afterwards about, worrying about the fitness of the players and all this kind of stuff, and worrying about playing every 3 or 4 games. And I do wonder, and he said maybe it's too nice and certain people need to play. I do wonder if last season has scarred the shit out of him, because we got so many injuries, and I wonder if he's just overcompensated. I don't think it's arrogance. I think he's genuinely just nervous about the injuries, and he genuinely feels these players need to play, and he genuinely felt the best thing to do was and it was a crazy idea, and he got quite into the idea of, we'll change everyone, we'll give everyone minutes, and it's a good idea, and no one will get. I just think he's made a fucking absolute terrible call, and I do worry that he's just scarred by it. When I think of Guardiola, I think of him saying, "We are tired, fuck you." That's the Guardiola I worry about. Yeah, I love, sorry, and I worry that a little bit that I might have been damaged by last season, because that absolutely should be the Guardiola. Like, someone said if it's not about injuries, he wouldn't have started Nico. Who else would have started, mate? If Kovacic was been fit, Kovacic would have started instead of Nico. If Rodri had been fit, Rodri would have started. The only reason Nico played is because there was no one else to swap. That was it. There was no one else at all. So that was the only reason. That's the only reason Nico played, because there was no one else to rotate with him. So I just think he he thought it was a good idea, and he was unfortunately disastrously wrong. And look, I don't know how this is going to affect our season, but what I do know is that unfortunately, the entire squad has now tasted defeat. And usually, there's a whole bunch of players that haven't played. Everyone has played, apart from Bettinelli or whatever. But everyone has played, other than Kovacic, Rodri too. But everyone who's fit has played and tasted disappointing defeat. And to me, that is an obscene and absurd net negative after the joy and the exhilaration of the Liverpool victory. We really have grasped defeat from the jaws of victory in the confidence race there. It could all change if we somehow turn around and spank Leeds. I understand football, you're only as good as your last game, and people move on very quickly with a positive win. We could beat Leeds fucking 8-0 and Haaland score 5 goals and no one cares anymore. I'm not saying that will happen, but you know what I mean? Like, that's how it works. It changes so quickly. But it was just the last week has been just fucking annoying, hasn't it? It's just been annoying and a little bit sobering too. And I look at some of those players as well, and I think it's really hard because individually I think there's a lot of quality there. I watched this game tonight with I was at the City studio and I watched it with Andy Morrison. Now, hands up in the chat if you know who Andy Morrison is. He was a man who saved Manchester City, one of the many who saved City from the brinks of the lower leagues, and a fucking legend in his own way, a cult hero, a warrior of a centre back, and he was there in the classic Division 2 side that came up in the playoffs. I love Andy Morrison. He was great, top bloke, and I was chatting to him during it, and he was saying how you wish you just need some players who will fucking fight. You know what I mean? And he's a proper tactics head for what it's worth, by the way. I love his passion. Watching the game with him was great. He talks all about tactics. But look, I won't directly quote someone, but there was definitely discussion around the studio about how intentionally or unintentionally it was disrespectful to Leverkusen. It just was. I mean, I don't think he was even thinking about that Guardiola, but it was unintentionally disrespectful to Guardiola, to Leverkusen to make that changes. But we were talking about how we miss winners and leaders, and I look at that side, and I look at the side today. I'll bring it up on screen. I don't see many winners and leaders there. I look at. I don't see a warrior in Reinders. I don't see a warrior in Savino, Bob, Rico Lewis, ain't Nori. Ake looks a bit weak now, unfortunately. Kustanov's a warrior, but is he get up in your face kind of warrior? I don't know. I mean, Marmouche isn't a warrior. I don't know. And it's not even necessarily a quality issue. I do worry that there's not enough fuckers in that team. And Mad Hatter's just calling Guardiola arrogant. No, look, I agree the decision was bad, but I think it depends if you think if Guardiola's intentions are to disrespect or not. I don't think it was intentional. I mean, it's not to disrespect Leverkusen. I think he's worried. I think it's the opposite. I think his motivations were worried about fitness and wanting to be nice to his players, which is dumb and annoyingly scared. But I don't think it's necessarily his intentions were arrogant. I think unfortunately I think it was just a bit a bit fearful, which is very un-Guardiola, very un-Guardiola. But and that's the thing is you talk about KDB and stuff, an absolute fucking warrior, man. He would push people around. Even Grealish would get in people's faces. Rodri would get in people's faces. Bernardo would get in people's faces. And I don't want fighters as such, but I definitely, those people were born winners and they don't accept it. And I do worry there's a lack of that in the squad right now. And it sort of concerns me a little bit because we've got a lot of followers. And I understand, the ideas behind it, but it hasn't worked. And it is it's a frustrating night. Guardiola, I'll go to the quotes of what he was talking about after the game. I was disappointed about this. I thought, we got nothing from some of these players. Savino is Savino is just done at Man City. I'm not. God, that sounds too. I don't like to make definitive statements because it's. Look, I know it makes for good content, but it doesn't make for honest me. I don't. I'd rather be honest always. My worry, my strong worry. I can't say definitively because football is so fucking mad that I've seen players come back from nothing and end up being, regulars. But my big worry is that Savino's confidence is fucking in the bin. And I really worry how if he has the spirit, the drive, the energy, or even the folk or the want. I'm sure he has the want, but I mean the one in not the sense of that he wants to be bad, but more just like his head might have gone because he wanted that Spurs move probably. And I just worry if he's clocked off. Not necessarily intentionally, just because he's human and it never happened, and he just looks bereft of confidence. And he reminds me a little bit of Gabriel Jesus, where he's quite an emotional fella. Jesus, of course, more talented, but Gabriel Jesus would go through these spells of confidence where he just looked brilliant and looked terrible, and he couldn't get in his own head. And then Savino, I just don't think he has the strength of personality to get over it. And I might be wrong, but I do worry that we've just got it wrong. I worry we've got it wrong. And Reinders, he looks like a good player, but I don't know, he looks like a good player, but he's definitely not, a fucker. And I wouldn't mind him being a bit of a fucker, a bit of a bastard. And Marmouche didn't really look. He's barely played, but he struggled through the middle. I was disappointed in Ake. His attempt at defending that cross I thought was poor. We're far too easy to get through as well, by the way. Just 2 passes. Literally, they play it to their number 6 and they just play a pass right through a square 3 to some fucking guy in the channel who gets it out wide dead easy. Every single fucking time. It was so easy. So easy. They got through was so easy, man. And watching Ake challenge for that shit cross. Ake's literally fucking Superman, and he's horizontal like that. He's horizontal when Schick's up in the air heading the ball. You can't do that, man. You got to push him. You got to push right through him. You got to stand next to him. You got to be right there next to him. And he's just it was just weak. And then the press looked off, and Guardiola said it really well. Actually, let me find the quotes. Yeah, it was just. Actually, Guardiola summed it up really nicely. Summed up the mistakes of the team really nicely. A lot of it's about conviction. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cough and I'm a bit knackered. Very tired. Where did he say it? Let me just try and find it. So there we go. He said, in general, we did some very good things. We had chances, half chances, always blocked, but we slipped. Always it was something there. We didn't believe, okay, it's the moment to attack. We attack. Okay, it's the moment to defend. We defend. It's not being in a position, it's being present defensively. Defensively, we have the determination. Okay, go to make a movement, make some situations that we can do. That really sums it up for me. He's right. We were sort of there fundamentally. We were there. It's about conviction. It's about fucking attitude. It's about believing it. And I absolutely believe it. There's too many followers there, not enough. To me, the discrepancy, in my opinion, in quality, I actually thought Phil was good when he came. When he knitted things together, he made things happen. And even just Doku, and nothing that Doku came off. But Doku was just so the quality difference between Doku and from Savino and Bob was just vast. It was vast. This guy got the ball and played with conviction, and he played like he was going to make things happen. And I could really see the gap was absolutely massive. He was really locked on for his role, and I know he didn't do much, Doku, but you could feel that he was way, way more dangerous than the pair of them. And that, to me, was that's about conviction, and that you could really feel the difference. And Guardiola's right. I was really they were too afraid to make a mistake, and they were too afraid to do it was just it was just lack of conviction, and it's just it was just crap, man. It was just crap, and a lot of these players were just so. Yeah, they were just following people and looking around, and I was just disappointed. A lot of today was on mentality. That's what worries me. I really believe a lot of today was on mentality. Like, they did everything okay. They were there. They were stood where they needed to be, and they were stood where they needed to be, and they were trying to keep the ball nicely and all that. I was like, yeah, fucking, just, come on, just fucking show. Just show a bit like arrogance. Like, it was all just nicey, and it was all functional, and it was just like. I just sat there and I watched it and gone, I would kill for the arrogance of Riyad Mahrez right now. I would kill for De Bruyne twatting in the top corner. I would kill for De Bruyne going, you can't ever see what he's saying, but he's coming like that at people. I would kill for Rodri getting his chest up and just turning around, pushing Person off the ball and dinking a pass over the top. I would kill for, Sterling, even Sterling, just going and going and going again at people. I would kill for Gundogan thinking, do you know what? We're not going to score here, so I'm going to ghost into the box and score off a flick off. That level of just fuck it, I'll do it myself. Like, there's a real lack of that, and even, do you know what? You're gonna laugh at me saying this. I would kill for even Kyle Walker's personality at his best, where he was like, "Fuck it, I will." Like Kyle Walker, I know he ended terribly, but mentality wise, at his very best, he was cocksure, and that's the thing is like, and I do believe in the potential of some of these players, but I do worry how many have that. A need others around them, to do that shit for them. And I worry there's a lot of followers and not a lot of leaders. Like, I want to see us sign someone who just wants to, like, I just want to see players who have got a bit of swagger about them, and yeah. And look, I'm not saying we should be potential FC. Obviously, Mad Hatter. I'm just saying I'm not saying all these players are shit. Is the point I'm making? But I don't know. I don't think Leverkusen was scared of us, and that's a humbling, isn't it? Like, and I did a tweet which pissed everyone off. I tweeted this. Guess we're past Haaland's usual insane start now, and everyone's like, "Why are you fucking having a go at Haaland?" I'm not having a go at Haaland. I'm just saying every year Haaland scores like 20 goals in 10 games and then it sort of levels off. And that was it. And I feel like we might be past that now. It's around this time where it sort of levels off. Because he's missed a couple of games now. He's missed a few sitters that he was scoring previously. I might be talking nonsense. He might bag 5 against Leeds. But it feels like, everyone had to go at me for that. And I'm being defensive because I'm in a bad mood. But it does feel like even Haaland started to miss a few chances. That he would have scored previously. Like, when he didn't, he tried to gently knock it past the keeper against Newcastle. And then he didn't take it around the keeper tonight. And a couple, it's just like, I even getting like, this Haaland sort of leveled off a bit now, which is fine because we wouldn't be where we are without Haaland. He's a genius. But I do, I do want. I wonder if he's sort of starting to level off, which is normal. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm spiraling. Maybe I am. Like, I just, I don't know. We'll be all right. But I think I guess I'm just disappointed. And I guess disappointed because we lost that tonight now, and now we've given ourselves, Norway, Bodo Glimt away, minus 15 degrees, Real Madrid away. Then the narrative of Sane and Gundogan returning to the Etihad. It's not guaranteed anymore. We should have fucking won this. No, my voice is going, man. Right, I'm gonna leave it there. I'll see you in the morning for a bit of a breakdown a bit, but for now I'm losing my voice. Yeah, that was a frustrating game because we should have done better than that. That was on ourselves tonight. That was on ourselves. We have to be better than that, man. We have to be better. And it's annoying because I'd love to have seen us just tonight just play well and gone for it. Yeah. Bye-bye.